Hello and welcome to another video. Maybe I should change the introduction to this, I don't know. Hi guys, no. Hello and welcome to another video. First of all, again, say thank you to all the support you give me, and I'm currently making these. They're 3D printed, they're like really light and obviously they're plastic, but I just got in the habit. I just kept printing them, but I have quite a few of them and I'm going to find a way of give them away. I don't know what I'm going to do, but yeah, also because we've been talking about Black Shucks as well, yeah, my painting ain't that great, but I'm getting there. So, but yeah, I'm going to find a way of giving these away somehow. Not too sure how I'm going to do it yet, but also I don't know what colours are better. I do think they look alright in the brown one. Well, they don't look great on camera. That looks really tacky on there, but in real life it looks alright. But yeah, I'm going to try and find a way that I can share them with you somehow. I don't know how many I'm going to end up making. It's a new toy. I just keep playing with it. Anyway, so today we are looking at Cambridge and the Devil's Gate. Now, Cambridge is obviously a university town, one of the university towns, and in Cambridge you have Peterhouse College, which is the oldest college in Cambridge, and we're looking around that area mainly. We do go down to sort of like Wheeler Street and the Corn Exchange and a few other areas, but we do mainly focus on this lane and Peter's house and the church area around there. It felt a little bit creepy going, let's be honest, and this is one where I brought my daughter along as the sacrificial third person. But do you know what, today I went to a location today, and you're gonna laugh at me. In the video I had to go through a tunnel and it creeped the life out of me. And sometimes I go to locations literally don't have any effect on me. I can go into cellars of the most haunted houses and castles and buildings in the country. I've done that for 20 years. But sometimes a thought in my head will creep in. And as I say in the video, it's like when you get out of bed and you turn the lights off and you've got to come back to the bed and you run and you jump onto the bed. It's just something stupid like that. But today, we're looking at Cambridge, and my daughter had a bit of a strange reaction. When she walked up to a certain area, she creeped out and run back. So she didn't know nothing about it, and I just asked her to go and have a walk up there. So too much mucking about. I'm going to tell you where this was and why she done a runner. I didn't get to Cambridge till quite late, and we actually parked in Little St Mary's Lane. This is the precise location I wanted to go to. Doing some research on shucks, this lane come up, but not for the real reason why I ended up being there. And this was over 400 years that lane has existed. It is next to Peterhouse College, which is the oldest college there. I think it was 1284, 1289 that it was built. And over those years, there's been a haunting, paranormal events happen in that location, and it is said to be the most paranormal active area in the whole of Cambridge, and some say in the whole of the country. So it's a bit of a big claim, but what you have to remember, paranormal investigations were born in Cambridge. The Ghost Club, the Paranormal Investigation Society, all that sort of stuff happened out of that college. So the stuff that we do today all over the world stems from Cambridge. The parapsychology and all this sort of stuff is where it was formalised to go and look at this stuff. So when you look at these American taps and all those sort of shows, it all comes down to Cambridge and where we stand in this video here, the heart of paranormal in the UK. So why St Mary's Lane? So, cut to the chase. At the end of the lane, you turn left and you head down to a gate. Above that gate is an archway, and that is the Devil's Gate and the Devil's Archway. It has been said for over 300 years the devil sits on top of that archway. And there's countless amounts of reports of him being seen on there. Now, what the devil looks like to other people and what we imagine the devil to look like. Some have said he looks like a beast. Some said he looks like what we call the devil, with the forked tail and holding the pitchfork probably and all that sort of stuff. But that isn't all that happens around there. Over hundreds of years, it seems to have had massive effect on people in Peterhouse College. So much so that go fairly recent, 1966, there was a spate of people taking their own life. The dean of the college blamed the devil on the archway for that happening, and he called for an exorcism to take place at Peterhouse Gate, at that archway in front of those gates. The exorcism took place and it was kept very, very quiet. This wasn't the sort of thing that they wanted to get known. Now, I know that because obviously the history of Cambridge, the parapsychology community would have gone crazy if they thought that they were trying to get rid of this the devil on the archway, because it goes against the stuff they're trying to research. So this is the location where I asked my wife and daughter to walk up the alleyway and go stand by the gate and just tell me what they felt. Now, this is because people say they feel very, very sad, very, very depressed. What we need to make clear, people say that the devil sits on that gate, others say it's a demon. Now, if you want to go to the church's view, there's only one demon, that's the devil. So you can fight out between yourselves, but some say it's the devil, some say it's a demon. My daughter got within about 10 foot at that gate, turned and run back to the car, leaving my wife up there. And and it's that I asked her what it was, and it just creeped her out. She walked up there and it creeped her out. I think, yes, it has got a creepy feeling about it when you walk up there. That whole area walking up to the gate has been a site of paranormal activity for 400 years. You have reports of priests being seen there, ghosts of priests being seen there. You have reports of children being seen along that footpath. And the college itself, even in 1998, in the food hall of Peterhouse College, a ghost they call Francis Dawes walked through a whole group of students sitting at tables and disappeared through the wall. This left sort of like 30 to 40 students gobsmacked, and all of a sudden they'll become believers in ghosts and the paranormal. So that was 1998. So does this tell us this exorcism maybe not take place but wasn't successful? No, as this stuff that goes on. There was a report that I did find where it said that the demon there is said to bring bad luck to anybody who see it. Now, if you're going back 200 years, that the belief in devils and demons was probably a lot much stronger than it is today, or definitely much stronger than it was today. But people will truly believe that they see demons sitting on top of this archway, or this devil on top of the archway. Brings into call another report in St Mary's Lane. This is the site of the Black Shuck. Now, to be truthful, the Black Shuck is seen anywhere between Abbey Road and Little St Mary's Lane, but it is meant to sit at the end of Little St Mary's Lane. And again, this is an ancient report. This goes back to 300 years. Is it one of the older sightings of a Black Shuck? I think the one on G Cross first come up around about 1640. This, yeah, I mean, you are looking at pushing those time boundaries. As this college, I say, the colleges up there were founded at 1284, so it's got some, we're not saying it's that old, but the Black Shuck we can trace back to around about the 17th century mainly. But this one says to chase people down the lane And some say if you see it, it means you'll not survive the year. Others say it means you'll have bad luck for a year. Others are more convinced that if you see it, it is protecting you and it is a good omen. That means that people who have seen this have gone on to have extraordinary good luck and really good things have happened for them, have had good fortune. And on top of that, others say that when they've been in trouble walking down that lane, that the Black Shuck has come out and protected them. So again, we've got this mix of what it could actually be. The Black Shuck here seems to be slightly different to the ones we've looked at over at Sheppey last time. We're looking more at the Panther Beast. This is I guess more like the one we had in the it looks like a panda, doesn't it? I'll change the colour scheme on that. I was trying to do the shiny black skin, fur and a grey face. It's not coming out very well, is it? So, but we'll improve on that. But we're looking at this, the Black Shuck here seems to be more of maybe a guardian or maybe a doomsayer. It depends what happens. I did read down another report that people who did see it, who had really, really bad health problems, it didn't have no effect on them. So it didn't make them get ill or make them better or anything like that. So yeah, I guess it's a judgment call. But we have, going back over this, so we've got 1850. We've got a gentleman walking down the lane, 10 o'clock at night, and he hears a scuffling behind him. Now he's walking past Little St Mary's Chapel, and these are where the iron fencing is at the time. So you've got the houses on one side and the chapel on the other. He's in a bit of a pinch point. He can't get out of the way either way. So he makes a little bit of a faster walk down towards the, I guess the canals, are they, down at the bottom of Cambridge, where you go out on the boats and all that, the little streams, rivers, and he fastens his footsteps. The footsteps behind, the scuffing sound seems to get louder. Then you're recognising that these are not footsteps, these are claws scraping on the cobbles behind him. He turns round to see this Black Shuck standing there. He describes it as a really scraggy big beast with red eyes and ferocious teeth. He panics and he runs down to where Peter's house gates are and manages to get through the gates and escape. A few months later, we have the same report where a girl is walking down that road and she hears the same thing, the claws scraping on the cobbles, and she seeks refuge at the church. She is lucky that she got to the church doors were open, and she run in, slammed the doors, and when she looked round, there was a whole congregation behind her, and she's shouting out that there's a dog attacking her. They open up the doors of the chapel, and standing at the end of the pathway is this black beast described exactly the same as the last report. Then we have Thomas Kobe in 1901, who seems to bring the demon and the shuck together and becomes totally obsessed that he is being traumatized by these beasts, these demons and this shuck. So he goes to the ghost club that is in the college at the time, and he describes the events that happened to him, and they try to help him. They sit him down and examine him and try and see if it's his, I guess, their version of mental health problems back there and being crazy as they list it, or that he has truly been affected by this. Their conclusion is that this beast and this demon have become attracted to him and obsessed with him. That when he was attending college, they were literally weighing late for him. As he walked out of the college, the first thing he would see was the demon sitting on the archway. He'd walk through the archway, and at the end of the path, he'd see the shark standing there waiting for him. And this was such a common occurrence that in the end, he would literally just keep on walking and walking past them. Eventually, these sightings stopped, and he seemed to overcome that. But the Ghost Club come a little bit fascinated with his tale. And that is why they started to do more and more research around that area of Little St Mary's Lane. Now, do I throw shade on these reports? I am not saying take it with a pinch of salt. You have a group of people, famous people, that are going to drag in the likes of Arthur Conan Doyle and all this sort of lot, truly believe that they are onto something with ghosts. They need somewhere to research, and their college is the perfect location. Is it more convenient for them to find a location close to the college that they can study, that they can say is haunted, that would maybe allow money to come their way to do stuff? I don't know how that worked back then, but all the societies that spawned up from it and all the courses that come out from it certainly didn't end up being a bad thing for the college. So as you come out of Little St Mary's Lane and continue your travels in towards the city, you'll come across Corpus Christi College, and this is where the dean or a teacher of that college is said to have taken his own life, and he's said to haunt those chambers and the college itself. Other people say that he haunts the street going down towards the town centre, right away down to Wheeler Street. Wheeler Street has got its own little stories leading up into the Corn Exchange. We'll get to that in a minute. But this is not a common report, but keeping in mind that people around now in the early 20th century were a little bit obsessed with these ghost tales. In 1940, we have slightly more people reporting that this thing is seen walking down the street, trying to introduce himself to students that are new to Cambridge. It just comes, Harry Potter strikes my mind. And it is weird, and I know the college is all inspired Harry Potter there, and when you go inside them, that's where the Great Hall is, and that's what they took, that design of the Great Hall there and just redesigned it. And the same as Oxford, they've got the college in Oxford, they took the designs from the Great Halls in Oxford, and literally it's just these colleges fit into Harry Potter perfectly. And everyone was walking past wearing the university capes. And I never went to university. In one of my jobs, everyone went to university. It was all Oxford and Cambridge. I was the only one. I went to Thurrock Tech. It was just... I felt like I missed out. Thurrock Tech and Palmer's I went to. Yeah, I didn't fit in. So I had to stop. I had the giggles. So again, so getting over the Harry Potter references. This lecturer, now he says to haunt the courtyards and right way through to Free School Lane at the back. So there's also reports of maybe not the same teacher is seen walking down that street there. Maybe it is the same one. It's quite a large place for him to haunt, so I guess he's got his freedom to go wherever he wants. Not like I was a place today. Where I was today was very, very desolate, and I'm thinking, you want to be a ghost there? Nothing to do. But backtracking a little bit, this is more of a, as you can gain, a myths, legends and ghost video. We're looking at another legend, myth. So going back to Fitzwilliam Museum. Now this is backtracking past Little St Mary's Lane, because we've got to come back there in a minute. And going up to the museum, you'll see some lions on the side of the building. These lions were built by William Nicol in 1839, and they are said to come to life on the stroke of midnight, climb down from their plinths and go and drink from the gutter alongside of the museum. I don't know what to say about that. That is the myth. It's been there since the 1850s. Maybe as soon as they were built, perhaps they were doing this. Is there something that's make them come alive? Is this the real life haunted museum? It's confusing, because this is said to be backed up by a hell of a lot of people. Loads of people have said that they've seen these lions drinking from the gutter and then getting back on their plinth. I'm not saying that this is straight at midnight and maybe the the students over the years have been drinking a little bit too much. But I shouldn't poo-poo these stuff, should I? But it's interesting. It's British history, isn't it? So yeah, these lions, they get up off their plinth, they go down, have a drink and get back up. I wonder if the lions at Trafalgar Square do it. Maybe they don't need to. Put the fountains really, really close to them, aren't we? So maybe they can just reach down and have a drink at Trafalgar Square. We'll have to look into that one. But to make a little bit of a turn in this video, we are heading back down to Little St Mary's Lane and to really Little St Mary's Chapel. As you walk down that lane, you have the iron gates that lead you into the chapel, and you can walk around the building and you'll find a set of gravestones. It's by these gravestones you are said to see the ghost of a little girl who is very distressed. Others have said that she is sitting there crying. Others say that she comes up for comfort from them and tries to hug them. Other people said when she hugs them that they feel a coldness around their legs. Other people turn around and say they feel like a vice-like grip around their legs, and when they look down they see a child there and then she vanishes. This is not a disturbing one, it's a very, very sad story. What has brought this girl there? I know people have tried to research who she is, but that churchyard has a lot of graves of children in it, as you'd expect, for life expectancy back then was very, very short, and a lot of children did die. One of the common ones around the area was the plague, and there's a street there that it's sort of on a bit of a bump, and that's because the plague pit is underneath it, and all the people who live along that street say that their houses are haunted. And when they were built, people didn't know they was building on a plague pit. They just thought they was building on a bit of a bump in the ground. But that bump in the ground was the plague pit, and apparently some of the houses are actually sinking into that plague pit. So that has been interesting for a few years. But you know, these stories are all founded in our history, and you know, I do keep going on about our history, but I like it when we've got history that answers something. So these paranormal events were happening in these buildings, and it wasn't until people started looking into them they found those built on plague pits. That works perfect for me. It's better than knowing that you're built on a plague pit than say your house is haunted. It just works better. I forgot to say, talk about the drinking lions, Michael Rosen, the poet, done a poem recording of the listening lions. That's his own little poem about them, so look that up. I'll try and put a link in there of him reading it, because again, I say, it's a very, very well known story. But moving on now, I was planning to do a section in this video about haunted pubs in Cambridge. There's too many of them. There's a lot of pubs, probably about the same amount of churches in Cambridge as there's pubs. There's so many churches in Cambridge. It's quite astonishing. But you've got the North Star pub, and you've got the Eagle Inn. Is it? I think it's the Eagle. Maybe the Eagle Inn or the Eagle, which is meant to be the most haunted pub in the area. I decided I'm not going to really cover them. I'm going to look at Wheeler Street. Wheeler Street has a few inns on the side of there. And I do walk down the side of one of these and you can see it for yourself. It looks absolutely stunning. But looking at Wheeler Street itself, now Wheeler Street leads into the Corn Exchange. In Wheeler Street we have the ghost of carriages. What he said is that this leads over into the market, and when people used to be there early hours of the morning and they're setting up, they would hear carts, horse and carts, come down the road, and they were expecting to see a horse and cart come around the corner, and nothing ever did. Yet the sound of the horse and cart would pass straight past them. In 1920 we have a street cleaner who is sweeping the cobbles down that road at the time. When he hears this horse and cart coming towards him, he looks up and he sees a ghostly apparition of this coach and his horses heading right at him. He's almost like the rabbit in the headlights. He didn't know what to do, and this horse and cart passed straight through him, and he describes it as an icy blast passing through him. I do know that I'm now repeating some of the stories that you may go on ghost walks, and here I'm trying to avoid that. But when we're using the same base material, it's hard not to tread on their toes. I like to keep mine fresh, but I'm retelling historic stories. Of course they're going to be told before. And that probably goes for the next story, and that is about the Corn Exchange building itself. Now obviously you've got the posh building now. I think it's the Barclays Bank, I think that's what it is now, and the Corn Exchange, and you've got the big venue there now that does all the music and the shows and the concerts. All that area there is said to be haunted by a lot of people. Now when I was trying to research this, I couldn't pinpoint people's names. It seems that people just have these experiences down there, that they'll be walking past and they'll feel like someone has bumped into them, and they'll turn around and there'll be nobody there. Others say that as they're walking along, they feel as if someone touches them on the shoulder and they're turned around and there's nobody there. There's lots of those sort of what do you call it, corner of the eye sightings and all that stuff that happens around that side of the street. But just outside where the music venue is, actually more particular, just around the corner of where the musical venue is, and you head down past, you do go past Barclays Bank and you turn around the corner, and I'm going to try and describe that better, then we get up the map. As you go past the music venue and the Corn Exchange, you go into Guildhall Lane, and it sort of bends up, it's a very narrow lane. This again, it's a bit like the, it reminded me of the Brighton Lanes. It is that very, very little tight section, and this is where we get a lot of Victorians seen in dresses. I'm not too sure of the age of that little alleyway. It could be Victorian. The buildings there do look old, so I'm guessing it probably is. But the reports are of these Victorian ladies seen walking along together with the older Victorian umbrellas, and they seem to pass through people. What I struggle with here, do I struggle? Yeah, I do struggle with it. These are live sightings. These are not people that lost their life there. Are these people that loved the area and they've come back? They're not. Yes, a lot of people have lost their lives around this area. It's been there for centuries. It's one of our oldest towns. It's been there for almost as old as Colchester. So it's been there a long time. Are people coming back there because they are fond of it and that is where they want their spirit to remain? Normally you'd see more distressed people that have lost their life, or accidents, like maybe the horse and coach is an accident. That is why they haunt that area. But the two ladies with the parasols that seem quite happily walking down the street, maybe that's just because that's all on be. That's where they're happy to go back to. Maybe they've come back to visit that area. I say it's got that little Brighton Lanes feeling about it, and it's definitely worth a little walk around there. I would say it's probably best to go during the daytime. I went there of a night time and it was a little bit hard to see. Cambridge is really, really dark. I don't know, it's because they all care about the environment there, because all the students, and they don't want to have light pollution and saving on power, but it's actually generally quite hard to see the buildings around there. It's just a very, very dark place, and yeah, it made filming quite difficult, really. Not like, I guess I'm used to doing Brighton, London and all that sort of stuff, where it's all very, very well lit. Here it is quite dark. It does add to that mystery, creepy feeling, so I guess that's always what it's got going for it. Anyway, this video's probably gone on way too long. I probably got obsessed with monks and stuff like that, but I will find a way of getting these out to a few people, and how we'll do it, I don't know. Maybe you have to DM me on Instagram or something like that. I'll hopefully be able to tell you in the next video, and that one will be up. So this one's going up on, well, we know Wednesday now. This one will go up on Friday, and then when I've done today, will go up on Tuesday. So we're trying for the 2 videos a week. I have noticed that the views have dropped on those videos, so yeah, it was what I was expecting. That if I'd done 1 a week, I was getting quite a lot of views. Now spread them out over 2 a week, I'm not getting the views, but what can you do? I'm enjoying making it at the moment, and I'll say the next video I put out has got to make a bit of money, because it cost me £8.50 to get into that place today, and I want to make my money back on it. And they didn't take cash, it was card only. But we'll talk about it in the next video. Keep safe, and I'll see you next one. Bye.